Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel for this monthly money reset. I'm super excited to do this with you guys. I have a lot of fun stuff that has happened this month, but in today's video we are going to be looking back at June's budget, kind of see how that went, and then we're going to be setting up July's budget spreadsheet together. I cannot believe it's going to be July. That's insane. So anyways, if you're new here, hi, my name's Alice. I love to chat about money and show you a little bit about my life. So if that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe. Stick around if you are someone who likes to talk about the scarcity mindset, overcoming it. For me, that means enjoying my money now while also setting myself up for success in the future financially. Without further ado, let's get into looking at what happened in June. And then at the very end of this video, we actually are going to do like a teeny tiny mini mid-year reset, kind of looking at what we spent the most money on the annual tab of my budget spreadsheet, kind of get like a high level glimpse as well. So we're kind of getting best of both worlds, like nitty gritty and also like 6-month snapshot. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, we are currently on my June budget spreadsheet. So if you're interested in buying this budget spreadsheet, I think it's like only a couple dollars. I didn't make it. I just really love it. I just think it is a really accessible budget spreadsheet. There will be a link in the description box below, but let's get started with left to spend. So we have $313 left to spend, which if you're new here, we have had a couple months where it's like negative. Right here, we had a negative $225 start balance. Having $313 left over, that's pretty good for us. As of recent, I have decided if I plan on taking money out of sinking funds and then I do spend the money that we are planning on, I just want to be someone who automatically takes the money out of sinking funds, because I feel like I have been putting unnecessary stress on myself. It's kind of like mental health, where it's like, I know for me, I cannot listen to music before 10 a.m. or like watch a TV show or like do anything like podcast, audiobook, whatever, like, or else it kind of ruins the rest of my day. And I feel like I have to look at finances in a mental health lens because they are honestly very similar. So if I have the money for sinking funds, I say I'm going to use it and then I spend the money, I want to make sure that I am actually pulling that money out of the sinking fund so that I do not cause myself more money anxiety. So that's something that I'm going to be doing moving forward. If that's something you struggle with, let's do that together. Okay, for the actual breakdown, I was looking at this. This is really interesting this month. You can see our expenses are 25%, our bills are about 32%. So if you look at the 50-30-20 breakdown split of like 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% saving and investing or saving, I'm about 57% on the needs this month, 30% on savings, and then 10% on guilt-free or like fun money wants. I was honestly really surprised by these numbers because as someone with like my needs being so high, I don't necessarily feel that stress. Only 10% on guilt-free spending. Like I feel like we are spending a great amount on guilt-free spending. This kind of reinforces my whole sinking fund things. We have a lot of money in savings, and so if our needs are going to be so high and such a big percentage of our take-home pay, then I need to be trigger happy with taking money out of savings, especially because we're saving over 30% of our income every single month. But let's go on to income. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about this, you guys. So we got paid from our W-2 jobs, a very normal amount. If you're new here, me and my husband have 200% combined finances, besides the fact that we both have 401ks through our company, but we still see those as like family finances. So I wish I named this paychecks or like W-2 because, you know, income is really broad, but it's an annual tracker, so I can't change it now. I feel like it's really, really great for our lifestyle, so I'm very happy with the money that we make. For savings, I pulled $600 out. I was originally going to pull $700 out from our sinking fund or celebration sinking fund, but we ended up not spending everything for my husband's birthday that I thought we were going to. For unexpected, my husband, he got, oh wait, no, this is different. Oh yeah. Okay, this is birthday money for my husband. I've noticed that we tend to like get money from family and for birthdays and Christmases, and that'll be like cash or that'll be a check or that'll be Venmo. And then sometimes that money kind of gets lost, or you're not using it for fun things. You're using it like for a need if you forget what that money is for. And so we really wanted to make sure that we were using fun money for fun. So we decided to like pull all the money out of Venmo if it was for a birthday or Christmas, deposit all the cash, deposit checks, move that into our bank account so that we can move it into our savings app, and then put it into the fun money category. So that's what that is. For paid back, that is getting reimbursed. My husband had to drive to a further branch, and so his company does reimburse him for gas, which is super nice. I returned something to Abercrombie. I feel like there's one more thing. So I was trying to pay a medical bill, but like medical bill sounds kind of scary. It wasn't like a medical bill. It was just like I went to the doctor's for like a normal checkup. We got a message about it, and so I was like, okay, like we need to pay this. Went on to the portal. It kept saying like no statement balance, and then I also had this like really random number that had nothing to do with the text message. And so we ended up calling, and bless her heart, Patty was like, you have no charge. And I was like, well, I don't want something to accidentally get sent to collections even if we can pay it. So like, can you look around? And she's like, no, there's no charge. Actually, there's a credit. And so what happened was our credit got applied to that, and then that's where you're seeing that random number. It was because like the $44 got taken away from that, and so they ended up just putting that back on our credit card, which is super convenient. Chestnut is here to help us budget. But yeah, so we got paid back from the doctors, which is always super convenient. I love when you get paid back instead of get charged more. I think that was that. And then this is the most exciting part, but you guys can see here I added a new tab for business income. So I received my first paycheck from YouTube of $156.95. You guys have been nothing but kind to me about like making money on social media, because I remember you guys would be like, oh, I know that you do YouTube, but like where's your other income coming from? Like talking about my 9 to 5, which is like so incredibly nice. People have asked me before, like, why don't I include my social media income on my budget spreadsheet? And that was because I had never gotten any before. So this is my first one and I'm so excited. Also, if you're new here, I am a strictly long form content girly. Personally feel so incredibly stressed out, overstimulated with short form content. I'm just not a fan of it. Like I genuinely hate it. And so I do not make short form content anymore. I dabbled a little bit, but I will not be making anymore. I mean, unless there's like a little announcement that I want to tell you guys. And I also do like little community posts. Anyways, I did a little heart as this emoji because I wanted to always remember this is just such a happy thing. I'm so excited that I get to do this. This is my emoji that I love to use with you guys. And so it's like, I want to remember this is all because of you guys. So I'm very excited about that. So this month for income, we are working with $10,471 total with like all those income streams. Okay, let's move on to bills. Our mortgage came out at $2,606. And again, if you're new here, we refinanced a few months ago. I still can't get over it. I'm so excited. I don't ever think that $2,600 will ever be like a small sum of money to me, but for a mortgage, it feels so doable. And I also feel like rent prices in Utah are creeping up to this $2,600. I just feel like this is a really good price for a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house, especially in like a great location. I'm just really happy about that. It feels very doable. It just gives us so much more flexibility and breathing room. Internet is always the same. Our gas bill was lower at $32.68. It has been so hot recently that we have not had to heat our house at all. Car insurance is always the same. Water and trash, life insurance, Canva, power. I thought it was going to be a lot higher because we are cooling our house a lot. We're not even trying to open the windows or anything because the air quality has been so incredibly bad. Like I'm looking outside our windows, there's a huge red cloud in the sky. It's kind of scary. So everyone stay safe. It is so hot. It is so windy. We don't necessarily live our lives to avoid bad air quality. One day ash was falling from the sky and I went swimming, and like my husband went and played golf. But sometimes it's just so bad that you don't even want to be outside. And I know that we should probably avoid the bad air quality, but I forget that we pay in June for what happened in May, and May wasn't super hot, but June has been crazy hot. Okay, Apple subscriptions. I always forget to include these because $12 is just not that much. You gonna help budget? Okay, let's go on to expenses. So for groceries, we ended up spending more, $50 more than I assumed. And I've just created a video on how to spend less on groceries. So I am a fraud. I'm just kidding. We spent $100 on groceries at the end of last month, and it ended up being on this month's credit card. As long as it all balances out and it's not becoming insane, like if we started spending $600 a month every single month on groceries for just the two of us, I would be like, okay, like what's going on? This is really just because of like the whole credit card billing cycle and everything. So for tithing, we ended up doing a little bit more. That was because someone was doing a fundraiser, like someone's daughter at my work was doing a fundraiser. They messaged in like the general Slack channel. I decided to buy a couple keychains to support, like I think she was trying to raise money to go on a vacation back to where like her family is from. For gas, we did end up spending $40 extra, but that was because my husband had to drive further for his job and then they reimbursed him. So like this is really neither here nor there. Pet care, nothing. For miscellaneous unexpected, normally I do not actually have a lot of money right here in this category because I like this category to be more like overflow for the other categories. But this month my husband did pay for another season of playing soccer, and then also we bought something for a family member and they have yet to Venmo us. I'm not gonna like act like they Venmo'd us and stuff. Like it's okay if we have a little bit less money and then we get extra money next month. Like we're at the point where we have enough breathing room for that. We bought a microwave and the microwave was like $200. That is so expensive. For some reason in my mind I thought microwaves were like $50. For car maintenance, I budgeted $0, but we ended up needing an oil change. I don't know about you guys, but $37.53 for an oil change, that is so cheap. I feel like it's different priced every single time, but I will say when I go and get an oil change, sometimes I get got and then I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do the premium oil or whatever, but told myself like, just say conventional, just say conventional. They didn't pressure me at all. They were amazing. And then I found a $20 off coupon, which I checked the day before and the coupon was only $10, and then this one was $20. So Thank you. For house and yard, I budgeted $50 and I spent almost $300. Home Depot, drip line stuff. Oh yeah. Okay, this was kind of a splurge, the flowers for a hanging flower basket. I wanted a hanging flower basket. Kind of put it in the house and yard category instead of the guilt-free spending category. Mulch and weed killer as always. So we've just been slowly putting our garden beds in over time, and that kind of just takes a lot of money. I feel like a yard is both more and less money than I thought it was gonna be. Paid a company to put in like sod, sprinklers, concrete curbing, a fence, and that all cost like $20,000. So that was more expensive than I thought it was gonna be. Putting in the actual flower beds, because we're doing it ourselves, has been super cheap with like mulch, weed barrier, but every time you do go and buy something, it is like $100. So like that's not very much, but then it keeps adding up. Knowing what I know now, in the summer times, I'm gonna budget more for house and yard because we do a lot more in the yard in the summer. Like bags of fertilizer are really expensive. Basically, I should probably just budget more in the summertime. Personal care, we spent almost right on the money. That is for eyebrow stuff. These eyebrows right here, I put a lot of makeup on them to make sure that they show up. Got a huge bottle of hyaluronic acid. I feel like we have a very low personal care budget. Like I don't even have a beauty budget because I'm definitely just like a Walmart makeup kind of person. I do buy some makeup by Mario, which is a little bit more expensive, but I buy it like once every 2 years and it's still not that expensive. Okay, let's go on to eating out. So we did eat out more than we budgeted for, which again, I feel like this is a summer thing. So I budgeted $100. We ended up spending $165. This is because we do so much in the summertime. And part of my rich life is when I go see a play or when I go to, like we went to a rodeo, we went to a baseball game, and also like Disneyland, I feel this, to fully experience the event by eating the food there. And so that like has added on a lot of money to our normal eating out. So that's that. I'm honestly not too mad about it because we do have our overflow splurge money for our fun category. For clothes, I said I was gonna spend $0 and then I ended up spending $103. And that is because I bought a dress. I go to church every single Sunday, and as someone who wears a dress at least once a week, I really don't own that many dresses. I have like 2 or 3 that I wear really. And so I needed another one because I thought maybe I would buy clothes this month. I did end up adding extra money to the splurge category, but we'll get there when we get there. For golf, we budgeted $150. Again, it's been so hot outside and the air quality has been so bad. Sometimes it's just not enjoyable. Like it smells so bad outside. So only $20, and that's for I think a round of 9. So it's really cheap here. For splurge, we ended up spending $80 actual dollars of the splurge fund. Everything else went around the fun money that we overspent. And then for dates, we budgeted $100. We ended up spending $0, and we do 1 out of house date a month, and that's what this money is for. And those out of house dates are really to help us experience the world together. I felt like we did that already this month with like the rodeo and the baseball game and the play and like just going out and having a fun time. So we felt like we didn't need to go on like a dedicated date this month. And also we had my husband's birthday, so we did end up going on like a birthday date. We'll restart doing monthly formal out of house dates next month. Okay, for gifts, I budgeted $350, ended up spending $453. So these are just kind of guesses, and I usually just, however much money I actually do end up spending, I just pull that out of the sinking fund. It ended up being a lot more than we expected because we had my husband's birthday, which was great, and then we also had Father's Day, which includes Connor because the cats, and we just want to celebrate him like as a guy. Like as for Mother's Day, we just celebrate women in general, and then also Connor's dad, and then my dad as well. That was really fun. I really like that we're at the stage in life where we can buy gifts for people and stuff. For celebrations, that's more like things that you do, take people out to dinner sometimes for their birthday, and that would be more like a celebration. Or we had a barbecue for Connor's birthday, and that would be a celebration, not a gift. That ended up coming in way under budget at $137 out of $250, and that was because I wanted to go and have like a nice steak dinner for my husband's birthday. I originally planned to like go up to Park City or Midway. They have such good food up there, and it's a little bit pricier, but it's literally phenomenal. But we realized that we wanted to celebrate on a weeknight, and my husband has to wake up really early for work, and restaurants in general in Utah Valley, it's so cheap. So I budgeted $250 for the dinner, and then it ended up only being $137, which is like psycho with tip. Like, isn't that crazy? I got a salmon, he got a steak. That's insane to me. Okay, let's go on to saving and investing. The overview, we ended up saving about $100 extra. So for the emergency fund, we've been doing our tried and true $1,000 to hit our $30,000 emergency fund goal by the end of the year. That's going really well. For a Roth IRA, we have this automated. We took the Roth IRA contribution limit, we divided it up up by 52 weeks, and then we just are both automating that. That has been super fun. I'm super proud of us. Even though we have acclimated to this schedule, I always want to make sure that we're always being very proud of ourselves, even when things become easy, because I remember being scared to automate things, especially when we had super high fixed expenses. For the car, we put $200 in there. Our car maintenance sinking fund now has $2,000, which is super exciting. Feeling pretty good about that. We might lower our contributions or like stop contributing to that and try and just keep it at the 2,000 mark. I also feeling like maybe we should start saving for another car, just because I like get nervous sometimes. Our cars are 10 and 20 years old and they're at 90,000 miles. That's low to me. But then, the other day I was at exactly 175,000 miles. And I know that Honda Accord could go to 300,000 miles because I've seen people with the same exact make and model do it. It could go much longer, but also if it just like exploded, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. So for the girls, sinking fund, $25 just for their vet visits. For vacations, we ended up putting $200 there. We just realized that travel is so important to us, and so we always want to be contributing at least a little bit. Also, weekend trips take more money than you think they do. I want to make sure that we have money in our vacation sinking fund. For house and yard, I said $200. I ended up doing 0 because again, I wanted to just not put myself under any unnecessary pressure financially when I don't have to. So like we spent more on our house and yard this month. Why put that money into savings and then be like, you have to make it work? For our child, again, we're not pregnant, but we're just excited to have a kid someday. We saved $400. And then for fun money, this is something that we never like plan to put money into. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but basically if we have any extra money, that is where we put the fun money into. And so I think this is my husband's birthday money. Here is business savings. So my strategy for my new YouTube income, put every single cent into the savings account that's specifically for it, so that it keeps everything really easy when it comes to taxes. I'm very grateful that we don't need to live off of this money, so I'm totally fine not touching it. And I would love to have some extra money in savings. That's it for looking back at June's budget spreadsheet. Let's set up July's budget spreadsheet together. Some of you guys are talking about like how I go through the budget spreadsheet. I just click on the last month's and then I duplicate it and then I rename it with a fun emoji. Let's do eggs, like you're frying something on the sidewalk because it's going to be so hot. Okay, so this is it. I switched that to budget. I changed this, 0 out. Let me only 0 out the things that actually change. Everything else should stay the same for that. Okay. Alrighty, so that's kind of how I set up a new budget spreadsheet. I just try to keep an eye on the budget amount while also trying to make sure that things are very realistic. I am a huge proponent of realistic budgeting, being accepting of where you're at the moment, but then also kind of trying to push yourself to hit your financial goals, because an unrealistic budget always leads to frustration, which leads people to think that they're not good at budgeting, when really they're just setting an unrealistic budget. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay, let's get started with this. Oh, I need to 0 this out. So as you guys saw, we had leftover money, but I actually think I might put $100 for each of us into our fun money so that we can spend it however we want. And then I'm gonna leave an extra $100 here because you guys, $100 always gets lost in the budget whenever you go from one month to the next. I do love a good zero-based budgeting, but I need money floating around and stuff. So I'm just gonna put that at 0, and then it always finds its way to not exist. Okay, for income, it should be the same. For savings, I literally have not even thought about our budget. Like sometimes I like ideate and think about what we need to do, but like I can't remember. But I do have budgeting reminders right here. That is maybe buy cruise tickets, which is super exciting. And then also we're going to Oregon, and then we're also having family from Oregon come here. So I need to remember that when it comes to guilt-free spending. So actually maybe I will take $500 out of savings. When it comes to taking money out of savings, it really is flexible. If I spend more, I'll take more out. If I spend less, I'll take less out. Paid back, no. Bonus, no. Business, I'm just gonna say 0. Okay, let's go. Mortgage is gonna be the same. Internet is gonna be the same. The gas bill, I think we're pretty safe to do 35. Like we are genuinely not heating our house at all. So we should be good. Car insurance stays the same. Sometimes it goes down a couple dollars. So I'm like, thank you. Whoever we have, Geico, State Farm, I can't remember. Not super loyal to my car company, I guess. Water and trash will be the same. Life insurance, Canva, power. I actually do think power will be high because we have, again, normally in the summer, we love to keep the windows open at night, cool our house that way, but it's just not an option. Okay, let's go on to groceries. I think our new normal is now $500, especially with family coming into town. I do love to have a fully stocked like fridge and pantry for people. For tithing and donations, that'll be 10%. We always like to add on a little bit more. For gas, we budgeted $300 last month and we hit $350. $350 is so much. I think I'm gonna budget $300 then. Gas prices have definitely come down by like 75 cents, but still. We went over this and my husband might have to go to the further branches again. So we'll see. For unexpected, I'm gonna do the 350. I love having the 350. It's worked super well for us. Sometimes I forget about the power of inflation. And so I do know that maybe someday we will have to raise this amount. I honestly don't foresee a world in which I get so good at budgeting that we never have to have a miscellaneous unexpected. This is just a little budgeting tactic I can do to make it so that I'm not as stressed. So yeah, I don't see the 350 as like a failure on my part. I literally just see it as something I can do to make things a little bit easier. For car maintenance, I don't think we have anything. We just had the oil change. My other car doesn't need an oil change and we like never drive it. Oh, but we might have to go get like a little check because I think I saw an oil. Good thing we have $2,000 in there. Let's do $500 for that. And then let me remember to put $500. I know that sounds like a lot, but I feel like every time you take your car to the shop, it always costs hundreds of dollars. For the house and yard, I'm gonna do 100. We don't have anything we wanna do, but I feel like it's always at least $100 in the summertime. For personal care, let's do $30. That seems like a good amount. Also, I'm like really flying through that, and that's because I've been budgeting for years now. But if you're newer to budgeting and it takes you longer, like literally no worries. Sometimes you even just have to track your expenses before you can actually realistically budget. Let's see, health, I don't think so, but also with health, I really like to use our HSA card because it's like tax advantage and everything. If we do end up spending money on health, then I will just put that exact amount here and then put that exact amount here for our HSA. The money doesn't actually hit our bank account, but I feel like it really helps us to know how much you're spending on health every single year. For eating out, I think I am gonna do $150 because if we keep going and doing things with like friends and family and eating while we're there, if we wanna keep doing those things, especially because it's summertime, I wanna be able to take advantage of that. And like, I don't think $50 is the end of the world. Oh wait, I forgot. Once I get to guilt-free spending, I like to do the non-negotiables for guilt-free spending and for saving and investing. Let's do golf $100. Maybe he can get that in. For splurge, we do $100. And then for travel, I'm gonna do that $500 because we're pulling that out of savings. For dates, $100. Wow, I feel crazy the fact that like I throw $100 at everything. $100 is a lot, but also it's not that much. I'm pretty sure we don't have any birthdays or like celebrations in July, really. We should be good, but again, if I do spend this money, I'll pull out of the sinking fund. I promise, I swear, so that I do not cause myself undue financial stress. And then let's see, for the emergency fund, we do $1,000. For the Roth IRA, there's only 4 Wednesdays. How are we doing? Left to budget. We have $1,200 left to budget, and we've kind of done our absolute like necessity budgeting things. I feel like all scatterbrained right now. Let's go back to guilt-free spending. Let's put $100 for clothing, $150 for splurge. Do we need anything for the home right now? I don't think July is really gonna be like a home improvement kind of thing. Maybe I'll just put $50 there, just in case. Okay, $25, that's actually non-negotiable. What if we did $200? Oh, $13 left to budget with. I don't love having that close of margins. What if we did $175 for everything? Yeah, little like personal thing, but again, I love to have money floating around on our budget because it always finds a way to be spent. Not in the sense that I'm going out and overspending, paying maybe $100, maybe $150 a month to just not feel as limited, if that makes sense. And I find that if I budget like every single cent, become obsessed with the budget spreadsheet, and then I stop living my life outside of the budget spreadsheet. So I really am trying to make sure that I always have some extra money floating around. But let's just take one last overview of this and see if it is good. So yeah, income looks good, all looking pretty good. It's crazy that this is $3,300 a month when our mortgage used to be $3,200 a month. Like, that's insane. Everything looks pretty good. As promised, let's go onto the annual tab and fill that out, or not fill it out, but kind of see what's been happening for the first 6 months of this year. So our best savings month was $8,275. That's psycho. Oh yeah, I forgot that we paid off our car last year, so we haven't had to do that. I was like, that's a lot of money. Why didn't that go towards our car? Okay, for our outflow breakdown, it looks like, again, our needs are about 50%. Our debt, which is actually guilt-free spending, I just can only modify this budget spreadsheet so much, has been about 12%, and then our savings / investing has been about 35%. So I feel like that's a pretty good split. Yeah, okay, let's go down to annual income. From our jobs, we've made just under $60,000, well, plus the bonus from our job. So we've made over $60,000, which I think is an absolutely great amount for 2 people living in Utah, for sure. I feel very comfortable. Like, if you were to ask me, do I feel comfortable? I mean, maybe not 100%, just because we are saving so much and I don't feel like willy-nilly spending everything on guilt-free spending. Sometimes we talk about like how much we would be able to spend if we did not invest, did not pay health insurance, and did not save money. Like we'd be able to buy like whatever we want every single month. Do I feel comfortable? Yes. But I also feel like I'm working hard for my future as well. We've pulled $4,600 out of savings. Let's go and see how much we've actually saved. Over $16,000. So I feel like putting $16,000 into savings and then pulling $4,600 out is pretty good. I would hate it to be like a 1-to-1 ratio, which like I still feel like that's valuable. Using it next month is still very valid because you're still living below your means. Going on to the expenses, the most we have done was donating/tithing at $6,400. And then the next one is house and yard. Yeah, okay, so again, our house was more and less expensive than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, it looks like we spent $1,700 in April, which is quite a bit, but yeah, a couple $100 here, a few $100 there. Like it's just kind of adding up, which is totally fine. Having a yard is one of my favorite parts about having a single family home. Then the next one was groceries. We've only spent $3,000 on groceries this year. I think that's really good, but I could be wrong. I do not categorize myself as someone who is frugal. I really try to seamlessly support myself in hitting my financial goals, and that does not include bending over backwards, get the deals, drive to different grocery stores, like eat beans and rice or ramen only. Like I don't do those things, so I feel really good about that $3,000 amount. Anything else kind of crazy? Car maintenance, we spent $1,600 on. Honestly, I thought it was going to be higher. But I feel good that we have more money in our sinking fund than we have even spent on our car maintenance this year. And then $1,000 on pet care. Oh my gosh, yes, I remember that was a big portion of that was going to the urgent care, not for this one, but the other one. And she got a little kitty X-ray and it was so cute, you guys, and she's totally fine. All right, for the bill summary, this should all be pretty like to be expected because our bills are like the same every single month, well, most of them. So let's see, our mortgage came out, and for the first half of this year, that has been $13,600. That was like our high mortgage for the first part of the year, and then no mortgage when you refinance, which was so nice. And then that $13,000 for 6 months of housing feels like a lot of money. Month to month, it's very, very doable for us. Let's see, the next highest one is life insurance, which wow, we spent $1,082 on life insurance this year so far, which is life insurance and disability. That kind of puts into perspective. That's kind of a lot, but I mean, again, to be alive, I feel like it's important to have life insurance because we have an asset. And then $800 for car insurance. That feels like a lot when you add it up. I don't like thinking about that. So what we've spent the most on for fun is splurge, which is miscellaneous. Oh, that was like the football season pass. But yeah, that's been really good. I'm super happy that we have that fund. Again, I will never be perfect at budgeting, so it is so amazing, convenient, great for my mental health / financial health to have a miscellaneous overflow fund for our guilt-free spending. For travel, we spent $1,400. Most of that was a trip to California, which was so fun. And then let's see, another $1,000. That was for gifts. Wow, we spent $1,000 on gifts so far. Actually, no, that surprises me because we've had both of our birthdays, Father's Day, Mother's Day. We haven't had all of our parents' birthdays yet, but that's really impressive. I thought that would be higher. I have spent $845 this month on clothes. No, not this month, this year. Wow, that would be wild. That's really good for me as someone who has struggled with like scarcity mindset and underbuying for a long time. That $840 is very acutely felt. I absolutely love the clothes that I have bought with that money. And obviously, like, you win some, you lose some. Some of the clothes I bought and I was like, you know what, actually, I hate this. $845, so well spent. Okay, oh, let's see how much we spent on eating out. Where is that? We've spent less than $700 on eating out this year. Am I the only one who thinks that's really low? That's impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, for savings, the most that we have saved / invested is our Roth IRA contribution, and that honestly is the power of automation. Everyone always like says automate, 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 and I genuinely believed that when we had such high fixed expenses, we couldn't automate because I didn't want an overdraft fee, but I'm so grateful and happy and blessed to be at a place where we can finally automate our investments. The next one is $6,000 for our emergency fund, which yeah, we put $1,000 towards that every single month. And then for the car, that's been pretty good, almost $2,000. For the house and yard, we've saved about $2,500. For a child, we've already saved $2,800. Wow, that's really good. I didn't think we had done that much. Then for celebrations, $1,000. Vacations only $725. I would love to bump that up. I think that vacations are so fun. And also sometimes vacations come when you least expect it. So I love to save a little bit more for that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that little tidbit at the end of like our yearly spending and everything. That is so good to look at sometimes. Genuinely, those numbers surprise me. I'm like, wow, we've spent so little on eating out. That's insane. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and I'll see you guys later. Bye.